Murder, drug trafficking, rape, income tax evasion. These are all crimes that will result in imprisonment if the person charged with any of these crimes is convicted. But what good is locking someone up if they're just going to be released from prison and commit the same or worse crime? My Aunt Gina is a dispatcher at the Poweshiek County Jail, and I have taken a tour of the jail and have seen firsthand what jail can be like for someone. I also have a distant family member who is currently in prison and would benefit from rehabilitation. Beyond being a place of punishment for criminals, jail systems should be a place for rehabilitation so that criminals have the chance to become productive members of society, criminals will be less likely to reoffend once they are released, and it is more cost effective to provide rehabilitation when compared to the cost of returning to prison. Rehabilitation would benefit not only the prisoners, but would also benefit society. Jail systems currently offer very little rehabilitation to prisoners, making it less likely that criminals will become productive members of society and be more likely to reoffend once they are released. Currently, when a prisoner has served their time and is released, they return to their previous environment with the same or worse ways of thinking and committing the crimes they had committed before. According to the Iowa Department of Corrections, the recidivism rate, which is defined as the percent of offenders released from prison or work release who return within 3 years, is highest among younger offenders or those that belong to a gang. The Iowa Department of Corrections 2013 report states that criminals under the age of 35 have approximately a 33% chance of returning to prison. If criminals were leading a life of crime before they were sent to prison and then are returned to that environment in previous situations, what is to keep them from going back to that life of crime? According to Terry Cron, author of Prisoner Rehabilitation versus Traditional Punishment, the Criminal Justice Institute reported that of the estimated 440,000 individuals convicted of nonviolent crimes, the cost to jail one inmate for 1 year is $20,224.65. This totals approximately $9 billion per year. With $9 billion, you could buy the Chicago Cubs baseball team 9 times, or 9 F-35C Lightning II fighter jets, or buy 10,000 homes that cost $100,000 each. It would also provide for half of the state of Iowa's budget for an entire year. The punishment of being in prison does not seem to be an effective way of working with prisoners so that they do not reoffend. Action needs to be taken to decrease the violence and improve the chances of the criminal contributing to society in a positive way once released. If a former criminal can be rehabilitated and learn how to contribute to society, they will be less likely to reoffend, therefore costing taxpayers less money. William Shea reports that rehabilitation programs have been shown to be beneficial in providing life skills, a sense of self-worth, and a stronger work ethic. Some of the skills that have been successfully taught include learning, how to communicate, and how to have self-respect. If these skills can be successfully taught and an education can be provided, society and the criminal can benefit. Gillian Lim reports that in 2012, New York University psychiatry professor James Gilligan made the argument that prisons must be made places not just for restraint, but also for recovery. The only rational purpose for a prison is to restrain those who are violent while we help them to change their behavior and return to the community. If programs are not put into place to show prisoners right versus wrong, teach them how to make right decisions, or do the right things, the offender will keep going through prison system, not knowing what they are doing wrong. Prison systems have the opportunity to provide a combination of punishment and rehabilitation for criminals, not only to have the chance to become productive members of society, but to also be less likely to reoffend once they are released from prison. If they can become productive members of society, everyone benefits financially and socially. 80% of classmates asked and agreed with this plan. Sometimes it is easier to see the benefit when you can see just how much is saved by rehabilitating prisoners rather than just punishing them. Providing rehabilitation and education while criminals are in prison would help them to be able to better themselves and give them opportunities they may not have if rehabilitation had not been provided. If they are released from prison with an education and a purpose and know right from wrong, they have a better opportunity of being successful and staying out of prison. By rehabilitating prisoners, society would be safer and have lower unemployment, and taxpayer money could be spent. Imagine a place where instead of only being punished for a crime, that person would also be rehabilitated. A person is convicted of selling drugs and currently he goes to jail, does his time, and then is released to the same environment with the same skills. If rehabilitation was provided, that same person would be convicted, receive an education or job training, be released, and have the tools to make an honest living. This would have better long-term effects than our current system of just punishing the criminal. Jail systems should be a place of rehabilitation so that criminals have the chance to become productive members of society, be less likely to reoffend once they are released, and be more cost-effective rather than just being a place for punishment. For decades in the United States, prisons have focused on punishment, giving little thought to what happens to the criminal after he or she is released from prison. Recent research showing the rising cost both financially and psychologically to us as taxpayers has demonstrated the importance of rehabilitation while in prison. Rehabilitation benefits criminals and society by teaching life skills to criminals so that they can contribute to society in a positive way. Working towards providing rehabilitation in prisons is one step we can all take in order to improve our society.